He ran knocking on my door. I'm in my underwear, cold sweat. He's like, Devon. He was like, what the hell? I was like, I was hanging out with Papa.
It ain't easy, man.
It ain't. But I had a great time hanging out with you that night.
Well, I tell you what, next time you're in Vegas, you got to come by the house and we're going to put it to the test. We're going to see what you're made of.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
On that note, we are live with Table Talk. Sorry for being a few minutes delayed. That happens, but we got extra time with our guest. Of course, I could give an intro, but we already have a comment, and this is almost the best intro. One of the coolest, if not the coolest, guys in pro wrestling ever, Charles, a.k.a. Godfather. This guy's cool to fans and cool in general. Coolness full circle. Godfather, how are you, sir?
Man, I just want to keep hearing how cool I am. That's
that's
what's happening, everybody? Man, thanks for having me on the show, man. I'm looking forward to this.
Thanks for joining us. If you have any embarrassing stories of Devon, please feel free to share them.
Nah, you have to, I don't tell on people. They got to tell on themselves. I only tell on myself.
There'll be a tell-all book one day. Somebody will write about me. They'll tell all the secrets.
Yeah, I can't tell. I get too many people in trouble.
That might be a good thing, though.
Yeah, I get way too many people in trouble.
Yeah, we have been talking about doing a show from Vegas, and we've been kind of looking at some February dates. Devon, what do you think about possibly in February, maybe after the Super Bowls? Doing a show from
I would love to do it only on one condition.
Okay.
I get to go to Vegas 2 days early because after hanging out with Godfather, I'm gonna need at least a 24-hour recoup.
Okay. All right.
if what I said earlier, I think I can now hang with Godfather. I don't know. That's gonna be a test right there.
Whoa.
And hold on. I said if. I didn't say I could. I said if.
All I heard was hang with the Godfather.
Yeah.
Try to hang with the Godfather.
Okay.
Try to hang.
That's cool. I was like,
try to hang.
Like Devon's calling me out on the show.
Hell no. I ain't that stupid. No. I know when to bow down gracefully and bow out.
No, it's all right, man. I'm not trying to get nobody like that, but we'll have a good time when you come by the house.
Yes, definitely will. And I would definitely love to do that, Mo. If we could do it in February, I would love to do that. The three of us go down there and hang out, and man, it'd be great. You have no idea.
Well, I'm not in the clubs anymore, so that'll save you a whole lot of time.
Yeah.
All we're doing, so
Lindsay,
it'd be fun.
The first night out, Lindsay would need therapy the next day.
Oh God!
Oh,
wow!
She'd probably outdo all you guys.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
probably.
I don't know.
Me and Mo would probably be in the corner sucking our thumbs.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she's like, "What's wrong, boys? Come on, let's party."
Come on, the night's still young.
Come
what
on.
are you guys doing? Man, well, I want to say happy holidays to everybody. This is our last show of 2021. Of course, Christmas coming up, New Year's. Godfather, how do you plan on celebrating Christmas and New Year's?
Well, I'm at home. I don't have anything booked till after, so I'm at home. Family's here. We're just chilling, man. Just enjoying time. Just chilling. Weather's nice here in Vegas. It's finally got a little colder than it has been. And I'm staying medicated and staying friendly.
That's what I want to do. I want to be with Godfather. I just want to stay heavily medicated.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that, bro.
Nothing. Listen, I've been on the show since we've had this, and I've said that I'm such an advocate of it now. I love it. I tried to get these two to do it with me. I gave them the edibles, the gummies.
Brother, I've been preaching it for years, and people are just now catching up. And I mean, as long as you know how much I smoke, and now and I've been preaching it for people at 27. People don't know at 27 years old, I tried cannabis for the first time in my life. Okay, I'm old. I'm 60 years old now. I was brought up that this is your brain, this is drug, this is and I was afraid of it, but. And then I didn't see athletes smoke it. I mean, where I came up, athletes didn't smoke weed. And then when I went to college, I'm like, damn, all these good athletes are smoking weed, but I didn't. Now I'm taking at 27, I'm Papa Shango. I'm taking Vicodins, Vicopropins, Valiums, Somas, Placidils, Percocets, Halcyons, drinking a bottle of Jack Daniels a day, but I won't try weed. Okay, well, long story short, I tried it for the first time at 27 years old, and it completely changed my life. Will I have a drink? Yeah, I'll still have a shot of Jack. Okay, but I take no pain medicine whatsoever. And I mean, and leave it Advil is about as far as I will go. And I think it's preserved me. It helps me through my pain. It's made me more creative. It's made me nicer. It's made me more friendly. It's made me it's motivated me, and it still does.
I got to agree with you 100% on that. 100% I agree with you. It's one of those things where it makes you a lot calmer. You're not, angry all the time. So when people say, oh, weed is bad for you, go to hell. Go to hell. I'm sorry. I am a big advocate of it now. I love it.
It's becoming legal so many places now that people's eyes are being opened to it,
Mhm.
which is a good thing. I think there's nothing but positive from it, for me, from health to moods to just everything, man. It just makes life better. I'd rather I don't even say high. I don't even know if I can get high anymore. I just stay medicated.
Nice.
But that's like I said, that's just an added benefit, man. There's just so much good that plant does for you, from CBDs back, hemp to it's a wonderful plant. It just, it's a great thing. But I'm glad to see that you're aboard that smoke train.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, my wife turned me on to it.
Really?
And and at first I was just like, no. And she turned me on. Now she was like, damn, you don't stop. Because, and you said it best, Vicodin, Percocet, Valium, and all of that. And, it was big when we wrestled and everybody was using it, and everybody, suffered some of the consequences. At least some did, and, and who are no longer with us. And the thing about it is, if they would have switched to cannabis, it probably would have saved their lives. They wouldn't have been addicted to any painkillers or nothing like that. And that is the worst. I'd rather be hooked on weed than to be hooked on painkillers. Because I've never heard of anybody dying from weed. I've never heard of anybody having a rough life because of weed. I've heard things where they're now trying to give it to kids with ADHD to calm them down. Cancer patients, we've known that for the longest. They've given it to cancer patients so their body doesn't hurt as much. And, I remember when I first started, it was kind of like one of those things where, I was like, oh God, give me give me Motrin or give me Advils to stop the pain. My knees are killing me. My back is killing me. And like I said, my wife turned me on to that and she goes, try it and see what happens. I tried it and it's my go-to now.
Yeah. I mean, and people think, well, they're giving it to kids. What they're giving kids is drops and tinctures. They're giving them, they're just giving them the medicine. The kids aren't sitting there smoking it and getting high. It's through tinctures or rubs or ointments like that. But yeah, man, it's a great thing. I'm just glad everybody's catching up. I posted a video today on my Instagram, and I just laugh, and I keep watching the video because, I'm out there telling people, don't hide it, take it out and light it. It's a great thing. But I'm glad to see you aboard the smoke train, my friend.
Absolutely. It took me some time, but I made it.
Yes.
It took me some time.
When I was there wasn't a lot of potheads when I call myself a pothead. There wasn't a lot of potheads when I was there. There really wasn't. Most of the guys didn't smoke. There's only a few guys that did smoke. And there's so many guys, I'm not going to mention any names, but there's so many guys that are no longer with us that I couldn't even get to try weed, but they'd pop all these pills and do all this other shit. And I'd be like, dude, just give it a try. They'd be like, nah, I don't do that weed. It gives me the munchies. And it's just too bad that I couldn't have gotten a lot of those guys to try it instead of going the pills. Because I'm telling you, I know all about the pills. And it's just, it's a shame.
Well, I will say this, Godfather. I want to thank you and Undertaker because I got introduced to Jack Daniels real quick when I left ECW and went to WWE, and you guys are there. We were overseas. You may not remember this. We were overseas, and you know how usually they have two buses. Like the first half of the show, we get on the first bus and go back to the hotel. Then of course the second half. And I remember try to make a long story short, I was on the first bus, and I went, and Taker was on the first bus. and you were on the first bus, and we basically got into the hotel. We didn't even go upstairs. We went right to the bar.
There we go.
We had a drink to celebrate, us being together, having a good match, and all of that. And I remember looking at Take and go, he was like around as Jack for everybody. I looked at Take. I said, Take, sorry. I said, but I don't drink Jack. And he went,
tonight you do.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, tonight you will. He said, tonight you will, Devin. And,
Devin.
Devin, yeah. And then he said, and then you came up, you said, it's either that, Devon, or we got to force it down your throat. I said, no, I'm good. I'll drink it. And I remember we did one shot after the other. Before you know it, freaking, there was a camera in the bar area that showed the camera on the outside. And I remember somebody said to Taker, damn, that's a bright light shining into the camera. And you and Taker went, that ain't a bright light, that's the sun. we had been drinking from the time we got back to the hotel to the next morning. And we had to get up and go to the gym and then go to the building to the next show.
And we did it all too, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Everything you said, we did. We still went to the gym. We still went to the show. We still did our job. But me and Taker used to live that, we'll sleep when we die thing. And, when I talk to Mark, we always laugh about it, man. We never missed the show.
Yep.
Never missed the show.
Never missed the show. Went out there and did what we did. And was always on our game.
Yes.
Not one time did we ever lose it. We were always on our game.
Go out of the picture for 1 second. I'm going to grab something. Just one
Sure.
second. Give me a second.
Welcome back to Lindsay.
Thank you. I had to switch over to my phone.
Yeah, I got to switch over my phone too soon.
Okay.
What's happening?
Taker, somehow he got involved with Jack Daniels, right? And they gave him he picked his own special barrel out of some really malted single barrel. And so he sent me a case of it. And so here's the bottle here. Check it out. And then on the thing that says Dead Man Inc. I don't know if you can see that. But anyway, really fine Jack. So I don't have a shot glass in front of me. But to that story.
See, I didn't even know. I should have brought my damn Jack upstairs and goggle. Oh, yeah. I didn't know about that either. Goggling. Oh my God! Goggle. I had no idea about the goggling. And I was drunk within 3 minutes after the first 2 shots.
Oh, that's a thing.
You know why? Most people know that Kurt Hennig is the one that started that gargle with Jack.
Did he?
Yeah, Kurt Hennig started that. We got that from Kurt Hennig, and he used to do it because so many people like yourself. Not that you would do this. But first time guys that are getting introduced to Jack, we'd put them and they'd start throwing it away or not drinking it or acting like they're drinking it. So we used to make them gargle it to make sure they drink that son of a bitch.
Oh, yeah. And it happened. It definitely happened.
I just don't believe all these years, I'm still drinking Jack.
That's impressive. Now,
but Godfather, I will say,
it might be stupid.
I will say this, Godfather, you don't age, man. You look the same as you did 20 years ago. And I just want to know your fountain of youth. I mean, you look phenomenal.
You know what I honestly think? Cannabis. And everybody laughs about that, but I'm telling you, and I don't, I'm not sitting here trying to brag. You know me, I smoke a lot. I don't just smoke. I do a lot of THC things and I think it's preserved me. I really do. And I think it's got me off of a lot. It's got me off of drinking. Like I said, I have a shot now and then, but I don't drink. Got me off all those pain pills. I eat better now. I take better care of myself. I don't know, man. I'm just lucky. It's probably going to all catch up to me. Probably now that you jinxed me next year. I'm going to check it out. I've even grown here.
Oh, man. You're going now. Hold on. Are we going to see the flat top again?
I had my son, my youngest son, bet me that I couldn't grow an afro. And so I started growing it, and it was like, it was kind of becoming a pain in the ass. So I went to a haircut, but not bad, huh?
Not bad at all. Look at that. Now, I would say the same thing, but it stopped growing up top for me.
I think mine still grows because I shaved it all them years. I've been shaving my head, except when I was Godfather, or Kama too. I've always shaved my head since I was in college.
See, my mother, when Michael Jackson with the Thriller album first came out, remember in the 80s, it was huge, a phenomenon. And everybody was either buying the jacket, wearing the white glove with
Right?
the little diamonds, or, trying to get the hairdo like Michael. And of course, I had a big afro, so I was like, I would love to have a Jerry curl. But I said it out loud, not knowing that my mother was going to go out there and buy the Jerry curl and then put it in my head. So I'm looking like Ice Cube and NWA, freaking Jerry curl juice everywhere, looking like Soul Glow when I got off the couch. And I just remember one day when she was putting the treatment in my hair, and I went, damn. I was like, ooh, it's hot. It's hot. It was hot. It's hot. And she put me underneath there and, rinsed it out. Come to find out that it burned the stuff in my head that stopped the middle from growing.
No.
That's why. Yeah.
Oh,
So at
no.
17 years old, my hair stopped growing in the middle.
No way.
Yeah. So my mother did this to me.
So it
Mom.
wasn't
Well, I'm glad my mom never did me
genes,
like
it was-
that.
Yep. All because I wanted to have hair like Michael Jackson.
I had the Jerry curl. I think we all did.
Yeah, we did. I remember my mother was like, "Don't you get that on my
The
couch."
activator. Remember the activator?
The activator. Yep, take it with you. Yep. My mother, don't you get that on my couch. My father used to say, "You put it in his hair."
Yeah.
You put it in his hair. I used to go to bed with the shower cap on and everything.
Oh man, I had to sleep with it.
Yeah, so did I.
'Cause
Yep.
You'd wake up, your pillow would just be one wet oil spot.
Yes, it would.
Who came up with that stupid shit?
I have no idea. I mean, I was spending lots of money on activator.
It's going to come back around one of these years, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everything that's old
I
is
hope
gonna
not.
at some point.
I can tell you what, I'm not using it because it ain't growing on the top for me. I'm gonna stay bald. See, I can't be like Godfather and try to grow my hair back. If my son makes a bet with me and says, "Dad, I bet you can't grow your hair back," and I'll tell him, "I bet you I can't." I bet you I agree with you.
I don't know. I said I'm gonna wear it for a while because you never know, it might start growing one day. And I'll be like, damn, I wish I had some hair. So I'm gonna try to keep it for a while.
That's great. Godfather, one question I wanted to ask you: who came up with the idea of you being the Godfather and with the girls?
My wife.
Really?
My wife. Dude, I'm in the nation, right? Now I'm Kama. Now The Rock is kind of taking over. He's kind of doing his thing. D'Lo and Mark Henry were kind of tagging up together. First it was me and D'Lo, then D'Lo and Mark. Okay, so I was kind of like, oh, I don't have nothing to do. So I'm like, I better develop some type of new character. So that was my wife's idea, the whole thing. I hate pimps. I hate pimps. I've been beating up pimps in clubs all my life. I hate them. Okay, so I didn't want to be a pimp. But it was all my wife's idea. And she basically was like, instead of trying to be a voodoo man, instead of trying to be a militant ultimate fighter, just be yourself. Go out there with your high ass, tell people to smoke weed, be you. And she goes, get some girls out there with you and do your thing. Just be you. And that's what we came up with. The WWE pushed it, or F, whatever it was, E at the time. They pushed it, but they had nothing input on it. It was all me and my wife and whatever I came up to do it. And they would come up with the show. I mean, but basically the promos and everything I did was me and just me being me. And I wouldn't, if I didn't wrestle you, if I was wrestling you, I wouldn't even tell you what I was going to say at the beginning, So it was real fun, but I was never scripted except to hit a town or to hit an event. I was never, ever scripted.
Wow. Now, what was it like when you approached Vince with the idea? How did he take it?
What happened, bro, is me and Bradshaw. I'm Kama Mustafa. He's John Layfield or Bradshaw. We're wrestling in the popcorn match. And if the people don't know what popcorn match, that's the match right after intermission. So me and Johnny, it's a match that nobody gives a shit about. So me and Johnny are just beating the hell out of each other for like 10, 12 minutes, laying stuff in, and people are just sitting on their hands, no reaction. So I was like, hey, John, my wife had this idea. I said, why don't we go out and try this? And so I didn't have any girl. We went to Jack Lanza, God rest his soul. And we said, Jack, we want to try something. So Jack's like, yeah, give it a try. So I went out there. Now we're going 10, 12 minutes. We're getting no reaction whatsoever. All right. So now I go out there, and now I'm starting to dress more of a biker than a pimp, but a black vest. I'm wearing some gold, and I'm wearing the Godfather hats. And so people are starting to say you look like a pimp. So I'm hearing it a lot. Now I'm growing my hair, and I've got braids. And so I guess this is how it goes. So I go out there. I said, Johnny, just play with me. So I go out there, and I grab the mic, and I'm like, I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm a pimp. And then people kind of giggled. I said, but what you don't know is right here in St. Louis, Missouri, man, you got some of the best hoes ever born. And the people pop. I said, how do I know that? There's one of my old hoes. And she'd be like, no. The people would pop. I'd be like, there's one of my old hoes. And they'd be like, no. And then I'd find somebody really overweight or old. And I'd be like, well, she's a little old now and overweight, but she was one of my hoes too back in the day. And she's like, if people are not laughing, and I'm like, hey, pimping ain't easy, man. And so I said, listen, John, instead of me and you fighting, and I would say this, I'd say, John, I'm going over anyway. So instead of me and you fighting, beating the hell out of each other, and none of these people really care anyway, I said, right now in the back, in the limo, I got 5 of the nastiest hoes you ever seen. I said, these hoes will do anything you want them to do, from the rooter to the tutor. I'm talking like that, right? And I'm like, all you have to do is turn around, walk out, and take the hose. And so I'm like, what are you going to do? And he's looking around, and I'm like, what do you people think you should do? And the people start going, take the hose, take the hose, take the hose. Now the whole audience, everybody's chatting, take the hose. I'm like, they're telling you what to do, John. And so he would take the hose, and the place would pop, and he'd start walking away, right? Then all of a sudden, I'd grab the mic and say, another dumb redneck falls from, I'd heel on him. He would turn around, come back. Whoever the referee would buzz me, I'd turn around. John would hit me with that lariat. 1, 2, 3, boom. I would pop up with my hat and glasses and say, man, pimping ain't easy. And the place would pop. And
That's
the first
great.
time I did that, the next day, Jack Lanza says, hey, Vince really liked what you did. He goes, could you do it again tonight? And so I did it that night. When I went to TV, I had a meeting with Vince, and Vince says, I think this might have some legs to it. And he goes, what? And so I told him exactly what I was doing and what we were going to do. And he goes, Charles, you think you can go get some girls? And I'm like, Vince, me get some girls? Are you joking me? What? I'll give you an hour, And so I grabbed Undertaker and the Harris twins. Remember Ron and Don Harris?
Absolutely.
Okay, I grabbed them, and we went to the local strip club, grabbed some girls, brought them back, put them on TV. And the first time that we this is like the 3rd time that we've actually done this little Godfather thing. But this is the 3rd time. This is the first time with girls. And so we go out there, and we kind of do the same thing in a dark thing, and the place just goes crazy. And then that was it. At that point, Vince goes, okay, Bruce Pritchard was in charge of getting girls for the next show, and it took off. From the first time I did that, it was like over like Rover, bro. It was crazy how over it was, and it just took off. At one point, I always laugh. I said I might have been one of the most over mid-carders in the history of wrestling, because the Godfather was over. Big time.
That is amazing. I think Devon was so jealous. He dropped. He's just like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, see, he's like, damn, I remember. I missed them hoes.
Oh, you came back. We
Yeah.
thought you were upset that you
No. I'm just mad because I remember being in a match against the Godfather and D-Lo, and Godfather grabbed the mic and said, listen, Dudleys, you got him stuttering over here, meaning Bubba, and Devon smacking you in the head. How about we go smack them hoes? Yeah. How about we not fight and smack those hoes? And of course,
but you know what, bro? I guarantee you, I never told you what I was going to say when we.
Never knew.
I would say, here's the start of the match. Whatever. I don't know what I'm talk some shit out there, and then we'll start right here. And that's what I would say. And he would have I would just go out there literally and just go, because I didn't know who I was wrestling until I got to TV. right? I
Yep.
wasn't calling and asking who am I working this week. And
Right.
so I get the TV, I'm like, oh, what am I going to do today? I go out there, what am I going to do today?
And it was like, we played off each other so well that night because it was like, come on, let's go out there and smack them hoes. I got them hoes in the back. Let's smack them hoes. And Bubba was just like, we don't do that, and I said, the hell we don't. I said, come on, Godfather. And of course, Bubba grabs me and goes, no, we don't do that, Devon. I go, oh, damn. Sorry, Godfather, we can't do it. I said, I guess we just got to fight.
Don't you remember he was like, we don't do the
Yes,
slapped him on the back and he goes, oh,
yes.
That wasn't planned out, man. None of that was planned out. And it was it was so cool because it was just us being us. And I used to tell people, even Undertaker, when I wrestled him that time as the Godfather, I'm like, dude, you got to lighten up a little bit because I ain't gonna lighten up. I'm gonna be me. I don't care who you are. So somewhere you have to lighten up.
And that's the great thing about it. I mean, your character was so entertaining. It was so fun, and it connected with everybody.
Yes.
And that was the one thing in this business that is so lacking today because people don't know how to connect.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is. They don't know how to connect. And a lot of times, Papa, is like they're not given the chance to connect because we can't just go out there and do what you do. In other words, two reasons. Number one, some of them don't know how to talk on the mic.
Right.
Number two, some of them just don't know how to carry themselves. And number three, they're all scared of the office and what the office might say or do if you take that chance. And you were always one of those guys, listen, I'm going to go out there and be me. Like you said, I'm going to go out there and be me. I'm going to do it. If it works, it works. If it don't, okay, go to the drawing board again.
Yeah,
that's the way it goes. And that's the way the Attitude Era was. If it didn't work, we went back to the drawing board. And we tried to figure it out until we found something that worked.
Right.
And that's why we got over the way we did.
I used to tell Vince, I told Vince this. I said, Vince, there's enough wrestlers out there doing wrestling shit. I said, let me entertain the people. I'm like, just let me entertain the people. I'm like, the wrestling shouldn't even matter. Just let me entertain the people. So I went out there and everything I did was for the people, the audience, to involve them. And like I said, I posted something on Instagram today, and there's nothing but hoe train, pimping ain't easy, we'll take the whole side. There's just signs everywhere. And it was so cool because, like you said, we connected with the audience. And we connected big, not by, everybody had their own way of connecting. But I mean, just think how everybody had a little thing and everybody had something. And now it's just, I don't know. I'm not here to do talk anything. This is what I tell people when they ask me about different generations. I just say I'm very happy and proud to have been part of the Attitude Era.
Absolutely.
And to have been a big part of it because, it was cool. And it still is because, believe me, you know me. You just see me a couple of days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't changed one bit.
Yep, not one bit. I was so happy to see you. I hugged you. Papa, how the hell you doing? I didn't even know that you were going to be there. I was just like, man, it feels so good to see people that you were in the business with, you broke bread with, you shared a ring with, and to see all of these years that go by when you don't see each other and then you finally see them, it's like, man, it's like seeing that family member that you missed and loved.
The Powers of Pain, Haku, just on and on, Jerry Lawler, Sergeant Slaughter, yourself, there's so many. It's just cool seeing all those people from those days, man. And I'm glad to see everybody's doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'm so happy to see that because you and I both know in this wrestling business, sometimes after wrestling, it can be very tragic.
Ooh.
And you hate to hear those stories and you hate to see it. And like you said, you just wish that when you do see people after so many years, that they're doing good, they're prospering, they're healthy, and they're great. They're still making their money, their business. They're still doing their thing, and they look great. And that's the most important thing.
I think the thing that saved me is wrestling for me was never my first job. The strip clubs were. A lot of people don't know that I was part owner of a strip club for all them years. And we just sold it 4 years ago. But I always had that money coming in. So for me, wrestling was fun. And if it wasn't fun, you would see me leave. I'd say, Vince, I ain't having fun. I'm out of here. And he would just laugh because I wasn't trying to go no place else. For me, it was fun. And so it's really nice to see all those guys, because I was, yourself included, we came in at the end of so many great careers and then the start of so many others. So we came in at a good time.
God, yes, it was a good time. I mean, you and I, we could sit there and talk all day long about the past and the good times we had. And I tell some of the guys now, like some of the guys that will act like Fit Finley, the New Day, the Usos, Cesaro, Sheamus, they all come to me and ask me, how was it back in the Attitude Era? And I just go, oof, man. Oh God, I go, you have no idea. I mean, I don't know what Michael Jackson felt like in terms of the being as big as he was as a celebrity and a star, but I do know that we had at least a quarter of that. And we were on top of the world. We couldn't go anywhere without having, I mean, as big as we were, we were rock stars. I mean, we really were.
We were on 3, 4, 5 times a week. We were on Saturdays, Fridays, Mondays, Wednesdays, Sunday nights, Monday nights. And I used to tell people, I got Michael Jordan fame, but I don't have Michael Jordan money.
That's what I would tell family members. I would tell family members that when they would come and ask me for money. But you on TV like Michael Jordan? Yeah, I'm on TV, but I ain't got his money. No. I ain't making 20 million.
It was a great time, and it just, I sit here and smile just thinking about it, man. Because, and like I said, it's just great to see everybody. So many people. And that's why I love doing it. I didn't know you were there. When I seen you, I'm like, oh, hell.
Yeah, I was like, I got to come say hello because I was only there because we were, my mother, who has the church in Harlem, she basically was doing her service. She was there for 20, 30 years. They just actually put her over on Congress as being the first African woman in New York to pass to over 500 members. And she took over when my dad left off when he passed away in 2003. Yeah. So she's the first African woman to pass over 500 members and still going strong. She worked with Giuliani when he was in office, and Senator Charles Rango, all of those guys. She was with all of those guys. And after my father passed, she really did a great job. And they just recognized her on Congress.
Well, that's great, man.
Yeah,
that's
so
great. Good for her. Good for her.
Yeah, so I was up there, showing my support to her, and then I had called somebody. I was like, "Hey, is this such and such going on?" They said, "Yeah." I was like, "Might I come down and say hello to some of the boys?" They said, "Yeah, come on down." So I was like, "All right," and I came down and say hello.
I think that is. Yeah, I didn't know you were going to be there.
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to, but when I found out who was running it, I called him. I said, "Who's there?" I said, "Because she only lived like 20 minutes away." Right. So I was like, I told my brother, "You mind me coming down there?" And he was like, "Yeah, come on down. Say hello. We'd love to see you. Besides, I got a couple of things for you to sign if you can sign it for me." I was like, "Absolutely."
Hey, bro, I had a good time. I mean, it was a lot of people there, good lines. I had the time of my life. And then we had a little smoke session with a bunch of people at 3:00 outside. I don't know if you were you walked through that.
No, I actually missed it. I heard about it, but I missed it.
I had at least 30, 40 people outside, all with joints in their hand, all smoking.
Nice. Yeah.
People were walking out. It was just like a Cheech and Chong movie. It was great.
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed in you, Yvonne.
And then people would say, "Yeah, Godfather's here."
That's great. That's great.
Before we let you go, we got a few fan questions I wanted to get to before we wrap up. This I think is a great comment here. I'm sure you get this from time to time. Candy says that her and her boyfriend wanted to meet you at a gathering last year when you opened Icy Barbecue in Illinois, but was afraid. The boyfriend was afraid that you would say to him, "Is this your hoe?" and that she would be offended.
I would have never said that, man. Nah. But I remember being at the bar, if I would have said that, I'd be a little offended if I was him. But I would never say that.
I said, do you get that a lot? Do you get guys that are afraid or women that maybe are hesitant to meet you?
No, man. 'Cause I don't come across that way, Nah. I keep it cool with everybody, man. I don't really get into all that. And nowadays, it's so much more about people want to talk about smoking with me. Much more than the hose. It's not the hose anymore. It's not the hose train. It's the smoke train.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to get aboard.
See the shirt here? Smoke train.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I
Nice.
love it.
Keep it sticky. I like it.
I
like
love
that a lot.
it.
Now, I think we got the answer as the Godfather, but just in case, Nathan wants to know out of Papa Shango, Kama Mustafa, Godfather, Goodfather, which character did you personally enjoy the most?
Godfather, nothing's even close. Nothing's even in the same hemisphere. Because Godfather, I was myself. I wasn't a character. I'd be literally just about everything I was talking about, I was really doing, to be honest. So, Ron Simmons used to say, man, you been fooling these, man. They don't know. You fooling them, man. You been fooling them for years.
Yeah. He would say that all the time. You fooling them. Godfather
you
fooling
have
them.
no idea that this man's really doing what he says he's doing.
Yep. And one of the treats for us as talent wrestlers, we would always run to the building, get to the building early. First time I think I'd ever seen wrestlers run to the building and get to the building early to see what the hoes were going to look like and what Papa was going to bring to the table when he came out. It was great. Guys were salivating at the mouth. Where the hoes? Where the hoes? Are the hoes over there?
Had no room, and then people don't know that every house show, there was new hoes.
New hoes everywhere.
They had their own room, and it was the only time that probably most of the boys, like you said, were happy to get there because you had basically strippers running around, and I'd have them drinking, smoking, because a lot of them never been in front of 12, 15, 18,000 people, and so they get out there and they get that deer in the headlight. So I tell them, well, you drink, smoke, what do you do? Come on, let's do it. I'd get them all. So they were all loose and having fun out there, man. But that was a good time for the boys, just to break all the craziness that goes off, to have some pretty girls in the back.
Absolutely.
Hey,
God,
Devon, how do you think Lindsay would have done as a hoe?
Oh, okay.
I think Lindsay would have did great. I've never seen Lindsay dance. I've never seen her dance.
There's a reason for that.
Right. So as long as she didn't dance in the ring, she'd have been okay.
Well, that's all right. You couldn't call what I was doing dancing.
Because the hoes definitely danced on TV. It was great.
Yes, amongst other things.
Yeah.
I don't know
if don't worry.
Hoeing ain't easy sometimes.
Oh man, ain't that the truth?
Oh man.
This is a good one here. This is a good one here. Dante wants to know, where's the weirdest place you've ever smoked a joint?
In a coffin.
In a coffin?
Oh.
I just answered this. In a coffin. Remember Undertaker's coffins?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
All right. One time, man, I had to smoke, and I couldn't. I was getting ready to go on, and I couldn't find a place. I swear this is true. So I had a one hitter. We used to call one hitter quitters. And I jumped in the coffin because it was raining. And I popped out of the coffin. Yeah, I swear it. That's
smoke starts coming out of the coffin. Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
I swear this. Smoked in the coffin.
You see, I'm sitting up there trying to get my boots on and all of that. I should have got to the building an hour earlier and just hung out with Godfather the whole time. Mm-hmm. So then when they said, Devon, your music hit, I'd have been taped up and ready to go an hour earlier. You had to guide me to the ring, but I'd have been great.
Brother, you're in the office. You could probably tell me better than I know, but for some reason, they let me be me. And they let me be me. And I did a lot of stupid shit like that. And they let me be me. So God bless all of them, man, because believe me, they should have fired me 100 times, all the stupid shit I would do like that.
Well, I look at it this way, Papa, is that, when you came out and you did what you did, like I said earlier, it was entertaining. It popped the people. It made the people happy. Listen, the Attitude Era did one thing. It made people come to the arenas. It made them forget about their troubles, their heartaches, or what have you. And for 3 hours for Monday Night Raw, we entertained them. All their worries and troubles was out the door. They never brought it in because they knew when they were coming to the shows, they were going to be entertained from the first match all the way down to the main event. And that's the thing. And I think that's what we're missing right now in terms of having that. So when you say, what were they thinking now that I'm, working backstage? I think they knew that. And at that point, we had to do something. And remember, WCW was high on the trail. So we had to do something. We had to change everything. Like I always said, ECW helped revolutionized the Attitude Era because we were no nonsense, politically incorrect, and damn proud of it. And we did exactly the opposite of what the wrestling business was supposed to be. And of course, Vince caught on to that and brought some of that to WWF. And with that being said, with your character, it was only fitting that we let you be you and go out there and shine, especially when it works. When it worked, when it worked at the live event.
They really let me be me.
Yeah, they did. And I think that's one of the greatest things ever. One of the greatest characters. That's true right there. When someone knows their character and knows how to get it over, let them be them. Don't get Hollywood writers and all of this to write for them. Let them be them and do them.
And usually it works out better that way.
Yep. Or, Steve Austin told me once, I said, Steve, how do you remember all of those, all that verbiage that you say out there? He goes, Devon, he goes, I don't. He goes, I just go out there and do it. I said, I tell them to give me the bullet points. I'll hit the bullet points, but let Steve Austin be Steve Austin.
I did his podcast, right? And they had him scripted, and he he didn't like the scripted part. He was saying, just let me be me. Let me do my thing. I know what I got to hit. I don't need, so he's still like that.
And I remember over the years, I'm trying to remember everything they put in there, and when he told me that, I said, damn, I was like, he's so right. And from that point on, I had never tried to memorize the script ever again.
They couldn't have wrote for me. Nobody there would have known the hell. Most people didn't know what I was saying half the time.
And let me tell you this: the today's writers and stuff like that, they weren't even born then, so they definitely wouldn't know. For a character like yours, they definitely wouldn't know.
What script did you have to remember outside of "What's Up" and "Oh My Brother Testify"?
There was. I mean, I can't go back, but there was a lot of stuff because they would come in. If we ever had to do backstage stuff or things like that,
stuff.
Yeah, you had to memorize it, and you had to do it. Like there was
the little
one
vignettes we did and stuff.
Yeah, yep. Like the one time we had a thing where Teddy Long was trying to recruit me with Rodney Mack, and what was the guy's name he was tagging with? The guy who does the concussion thing.
Chris Nowinski.
Chris Nowinski. They tried to recruit me storyline wise, and Jazz was a part of that as well. And they had a whole big script on wanting me to remember the stuff to do in the background. I'm just like, I don't think we should do that. I was like, no. That was the first time I ever said, no, let me be me, because it was kind of like they were saying, why is it your white brother is always trying to tell you to get the tables? Why don't he go get the tables? And Teddy Long was playing that militant character back in the day. And so I was like, okay, you can't write for a black man on how he feels about being oppressed. I was like, I'm sorry, especially when they're coming from a white guy. You can't do that. Let me be me. I can tell you how it is without you write a script. I can tell you how that is. And it wound up being great. I actually put it on my Instagram not too long ago.
Was Reverend Devon scripted? Reverend?
No, Reverend Devon wasn't scripted because of the fact that I was quoting scriptures from the Bible, and nobody back. Well, yeah, kind of scripted, but I knew the Bible because of my parents, and I can tell you right now, ain't nobody on that writing team knew the Bible.
Probably still don't.
Still don't, yeah. So there was no way, but that was the one thing about Vince. He let me be me with that character. He didn't tell me that I had to do exactly what they said in the script.
Right.
I
hear nowadays you have to do what they say, and everything's really scripted, and it's just like not scripted.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it is. And my thing is, a lot of these kids, they need to learn how to go out there and just ad-lib it. That's what they need to do.
That's what we did.
We never got Reverend versus the Godfather, did we? Because that'd be an amazing.
No, I think the Godfather was done.
Yeah.
The Godfather had moved on to the Good Father. Yeah. By the time that happened, he was already right to censor, and that was it. I think Papa, right after that, I think you left right after.
They tried to bring me back as Godfather Light, and I was an escort, and I couldn't say I wasn't a pimp. I couldn't say hose. I couldn't say pimping ain't easy. and people, it was Godfather light. People didn't like it, and I didn't like it, so we just parted ways. So yeah, I finished up.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it would have been great to have Reverend Devon and the Godfather. You know, repent. And they hold on. Next thing, and then all of a sudden, out of the corner of his eye, the camera catches me. I'm trying to solicit one of the hoes.
Yeah.
And I'm the Reverend. Well, no. I'm not doing it. I'm
Reverend back there smoking weed.
smoking weed and everything. Hey, I could be up
Maybe
there
I
talking
did.
about.
You just don't know it.
See, I like that. Love it. Man, Godfather, it's been so much fun having you on this show. God, we got to have you back on it. And if we make it to Vegas, I definitely want to do it in person. The three of us coming to see you and doing the show again. And I would love to have you on again. God, this was such a joy.
We'd have to do it from my house in my little studio here. I'll get y'all smoking. So that'd be a great show.
Oh, to see Lindsay, I would love to see Lindsay all smoked out.
Me too. Let's see Lindsay all smoked out.
That's
Pleasure,
great.
man. Great being on the show, man. Great.
Oh, thank you. Hey, Godfather, where
Thank
can
you.
we find you on social media?
On Instagram, I am The Godfather. The Godfather on Instagram. On Facebook, I am the WWE Godfather. But I'm mostly Instagram now if you want to see what I'm doing. And I also have a YouTube Smoke Train channel. You can get the link in my bio of my Instagram. And if you're in California, I do have my own brand of marijuana, if you guys didn't know. And it's called Insane Godfather.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I gotta try
yes.
that. I gotta get me some of that.
Do you have
It's
any
a
free
collaboration I did with Be Real in California. It's sold at all the Dr. Green Thumb dispensaries in California. And it's really the fire. So I'm going to get you guys. I'm going to get you lit up on it. You know, if I put my name on it, it's fire.
Testify. Yes. Testify, my brother. Oh,
Nice.
Preach. I love it.
I can't wait.
Well, thank you, Godfather. I really appreciate you being on the show. And again, I would love to taste your stuff. And that didn't sound right at all, did it?
No, it did not.
No.
Oh, wow.
I may
That's
skip
a good
that part of
turn.
the proceedings.
Yeah, we cut that out the podcast. But no, I would love to try your smoke.
Great.
And
Yeah.
and whenever whenever we are out there, I'd love to do that. And I can't wait to see you again, my brother.
Nothing but love, guys. Nothing but
All
love.
right.
Thank
you, Baba. Take care.
Peace.
The next headline.
Holy
Devon can't
cow,
wait to taste.
man! I can't wait. Oh God, I can't wait to taste the Godfather. Oh my God, Devon said he can't wait to taste the Godfather. No, idiots, that's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. He has a product that I would like to digest.
In his pants.
Yeah, he does.
Product.
Yeah, I like to digest it. I like to digest. No, Mo, we're not talking about what you dream about. No.
I can't control my dreams. It just happens.
Actually, we can control it. There's a study that shows we can control our dreams.
Really?
You have to.
How do we do that? How do we do that?
Subconsciously, apparently, we can control it. It's like that mind over matter type of deal, and you have the power to do that when you're sleeping. I was reading up on that. It's funny that you brought that up because it totally threw me off guard.
Well, actually, I don't remember my dreams. I would say this entire year, as we're in the final stretch, the last couple of days of 2021, I remembered 2 dreams I had this year total. 2. Maybe. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't remember my dreams at all.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of people are like you, Mo. A lot of people don't remember their dreams. And, because you always hear people, especially if you went to a fortune teller or somebody reads your cards, remember your dream, write it down. It's like, how the hell can I remember it when how the hell can I write it down if I don't remember it?
Yeah.
That's crazy. And sometimes they say it's not embedded in your subconscious that you can remember. A lot of things are, but sometimes dreams aren't because they're not real.
Right.
And that's why. So you're not actually going through it. Because think about it, like this conversation that we just had with the Godfather. This we can remember for by the time we're 90 years old if we don't have Alzheimer's or dementia.
A dream.
Right, but again, it's like we can remember that. But if it's a dream, chances are you probably won't because you're not in the physical form of that dream.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty
deep. Indica edibles help you have some awesome dreams when you take them before bed. I've tried that too. I don't remember dreams at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll not remember my dreams, but then throughout the day, something will happen. I'm like, wait a minute, this was in my dream.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Wow.
So my dreams were usually just like anxiety, like I'm reliving the day I just had, but it's like 10 times worse.
Dave,
Well,
you move your mic out a little bit there.
Yeah, thank
All
you.
right, cool.
Thank you. Yeah, there you go.
how's that? Good?
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I do remember dreams, they are not a reflection of the day. They are like some weird inception shit. Like I am in completely different spots, people I don't know or haven't talked to in years doing weird things. So yeah, mine do not reflect real life, but they got to reflect something.
Well, I used to have
Wow.
dreams when I was younger, like in my 20s and maybe my 30s.
Maybe it's 40s,
and
50s,
definitely, and no, I haven't had them recently,
maybe in the
but
60s.
I had dreams like even as a teenager of me and Janet Jackson, and I remembered that one. That stayed in my mind, even though I wasn't there.
Like a
talking about
reoccurring dream?
Huh? Both of you said
A
something
rea-
at the same time. I didn't hear.
Oh, it's like a reoccurring dream of Janet Jackson.
Oh, always. I was such a big fan of Janet. I loved Janet. There was no other woman on this earth that held her beauty. And I, as a kid, I was like, I was going to marry Janet. It didn't happen, of course, but hey, it's okay. But
That's okay.
I got to meet her, and I couldn't believe how small she was. Good God, she's tiny.
Did you hit it off with her?
We had a great conversation. I mean, she told me about, some of her nephews and family members that were huge wrestling fans. She didn't know who I was. She didn't know, but
I still don't.
Yes, you do.
Who?
Yeah.
Both of you know, and you know that I'm the man, baby.
You are a man, baby. Agreed.
What? Yeah, you are a man, baby.
But so she didn't know who you were. Did she know any wrestlers?
She knew The Rock.
Shocker.
Even I know The Rock.
Yeah, she knew The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, she knew those guys, but hell, a lot of women back in the day and during the Attitude Era, they only watched wrestling because of The Rock and Steve Austin. Yeah. They were heartthrobs. I mean, that was our heartthrobs of that era. People really don't get it and understand. I mean, I know a lot of fans like to talk about it and say they miss it and they wish it would come back, but they don't really grasp and understand how good of a time it was, especially when we were the ones in that ring wrestling and doing what we were doing. I mean, it was such a special time. And like Godfather says, sometimes he just sits back and smiles whenever somebody thinks about it, or whenever it comes, across his mind. It's just something that I do the same thing. Like I'm in the gym, I'm doing the bike, or I'm doing some type of elliptical machine, and I'll watch, on YouTube some of the old matches, not just mine, but Steve, The Rock, Triple H, Taker, Kane. I watch all of those, and it's just amazing, man, what we had back then. It was incredible. It really was. It was an incredible time. And, people used to say there will never be an era like the Hogan and Andre era. And they were right about that. There was never another era like that. But they never thought that there would be another era that would be able to come along and generate the power of, being a superstar like that generation did. And here comes the Attitude Era. And, I'm hoping that a lot of people can say the same thing. There would never be another era like the Attitude Era. And then maybe 3 or 4 years down the line, here comes something that blows it away. And I would love that. I don't want to be the only era that people still say to this day, God, we wish that it would, come back, because we need to accept the younger generation and give the younger generation a chance.
Nah, get off my lawn. That's what I say. No, you're right about that. And the thing is, we don't want another Attitude Era. We just want another era to stand out, do its own thing, make its own stars, and find its own niche. Because you go back to the Attitude Era, it's going to be compared to the Attitude Era. We're going to be like, it's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can find, the Ruthless Aggression Era at first people didn't like. John Cena, Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, look at those guys, many of which are still going strong. They made their own mark. I'm sure the young stars will as well.
And Mo, and here's what I have to say about this is that with what you just said, because yes, the Ruthless Aggression Era, and some people do miss that, but everybody from the opening match to the main event with stars in the Attitude Era. You know, and I unfortunately, and I hate to say it, but I can't say that that's the same for the Ruthless Aggression Era. We had stars, but they weren't as big as the undercard guys in the Attitude Era. You know, so that was one of the things that I just don't think you will ever duplicate. I mean, you know, it was great. I mean,
well,
I don't want to.
Okay, let me correct. In WWE, everybody on the card was a star. In WCW, there was a lot of filler talent in there.
Absolutely, but then you got to look at it this way too: is that, you know, again, WCW, you know, at the time during the Attitude Era, couldn't hold a candle to the Attitude Era.
I mean, the NWO and whatnot. At first, obviously, WCW did well, and then Vince and you guys took over. But
remember, the NWO came about probably a little after, you know, the Attitude Era started. Right. So at the height of their career, the Attitude Era hadn't begun yet. I mean, it might have begun, but the stars weren't out there yet. It was only until what, 99, 2000 was when it really started to kick off. I think it's safe to say the Attitude Era started in 96, 97.
Yeah.
To 2003.
The first half, I would say the first half was WCW, second half WWE, because I think the invasion angle happened in 2001, if I'm correct. So
I think 2002.
Okay, either way, you know, the Attitude Era, all things considered, a very small window of time.
Yep, and I love it when some of the guys or some of the guys and girls now, because girls are getting bold now on social media when they want to talk about has-beens and all of that. You know, like I'll say something like I always say.
I'll talk about those has-beens.
Yeah, like I say something on Alexa Bliss's thing sometimes. Oh, Devon, you has-been. Nobody cares about you. I was like, but at least I was somebody. I said, who the hell are you? You're sitting up there following people that you don't even know. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying. And you want to talk crap? I'm like talking about, you know, has-been. Come on. At least I can honestly say that I had millions of fans watching me. At least I can say I made a lot of money in the process. At least I can say I had that fame that you will probably never have.
Yeah. At least I can say I had dozens of people that liked me. I can say I made dozens of dollars. So I get you
dozens of dollars.
Yeah.
I wish I had that dozens of dollars back. Jesus. God, it was such a great time. And just the pay scale was off the roof. Good God, it was so good. I mean, I could tell you stories, man. I mean,
we'd be going to Vegas tonight if he.
Oh, yeah, we would. In a private charter, we would.
Yeah.
That's how much money was generated during the Attitude Era. Huh?
He's got lots of kids he's got to pay for. So
I got a lot of kids. Right. I had to put kids through college, and you know, I had to pay for certain things. You know, certain divorces, and you know, although I came out the winner still in those divorces, but still, I had to pay for a lot of things. I had to pay for the great lawyers and all of that. Plus, I had a little fun too. So.
Well, that's good. That's good. I don't want to end without asking how's the health, Devon? Is there any updates on what's going on there?
Well, you know, I really, if anybody is watching the show who belongs to Aetna Insurance, please tell them to get their ass in motion, because we're waiting on Aetna to approve the back surgery. And again, it's not like the major back surgeries back in the day where you would be, you know, out for like 7 months, you know, but this one, they actually said, I could, like I said earlier in the other podcast, that I could actually have the procedure done and walk out. I'll be good. I still can't, I wouldn't be able to lift any weights or anything, but for at least a good month and a half or two, but I'd still be able to walk on my own and do things like that.
Yeah. It's just a spinal transfusion. It's really no big deal.
That's
just swapping out your spine with a new one. It's fine.
That's it.
It's fine. It happens every day.
Yeah, but I'm actually doing okay. I mean, I'm sitting in my grandmother's chair from the show. My back feels a lot better when I'm sitting like this as opposed to sitting on my stool, you know, upright all the time for the whole show. But for the most part, I feel great, you know, in terms of, you know, and I hate to say the prednisone, you know, because I know prednisone is garbage. That's what a lot of people tell me. Doctors tell me the same thing. But when I take it, I feel no pain. It doesn't get me high. It doesn't get me anything, but it keeps the bulging disc calm
Mhm.
and away from the nerve.
There you go. There you
So
go.
I feel so to answer your question, I feel good, Mo. I'm just waiting for this surgery. This insurance is, oh God, insurance companies are so bad. They're quick to take your money, but they're not quick to help you.
Yeah.
When you need it.
Naturally. Well, thank you guys for your time. Thank you guys for another fun year of shows
I can't believe it's
and great guests. We're going to take 2 weeks off for anybody wondering, but we will be back January 12th will be our next show as soon as we have a guest booked.
Yep. I'm about to say, we might have a special guest coming on. I don't want to reveal that until we get the definite okay with it. But if this guest happens, I'm very excited. I can't wait. And we'll go from there.
Exactly. So, Merry Christmas to you guys. Happy holidays. Happy New Year.
You guys.
We'll see you next in 2 weeks, everybody. Thanks for
absolutely. And guys, remember, you can use me on Cameo if you need me. Just go to www.cameo.com and pick Devon to give you a good message or a Merry Christmas to that special loved one. It's already coming in.
Yeah, just give him bullet points and then just let him
let me run.
He'll have fun with
let
it.
me run.
He'll have fun with it.